Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Forex Academy. I am Darrell, and today is Monday, January 12th, 2026. So I'm just going to share with you what I was seeing in the charts this morning and what I'm going to be watching throughout this week and in the next couple of days. I basically use, if you're new to the VMS strategy, I use a 4-hour chart to look for structure in the markets. I trade about 22 different pairs, and I have been trading them for quite a while. So I'm looking, the 4-hour chart is the most important one to me. I have to see structure in price action. And for me, structure are pullbacks, various reversals, and just various patterns that come about in the markets, and they tend to come over and over. So I'm going to share with you the ones that I am currently, right at this moment, we are watching in the markets. And then towards the end, I'm going to show you how a live trade that we got in last week, how it's performing right now. So I'm starting off with the New Zealand dollar to the Japanese yen. Again, we're on a 4-hour chart. The VMS strategy is volume, momentum, and structure. So the very first thing that we need is structure. And this particular market, New Zealand dollar to the Japanese yen, has been touched up here in this zone. But the only concern with this one is that there's really nothing going on back here. So this technically would be a double top that would be looking for some kind of a rejection in this area, is what I'm thinking will happen. Now, here's a really strong impulsive move, and I typically will mark these out something like that. I remember learning this from, I think it was like a math teacher or something back in elementary school. Always stuck with me. Okay, so big impulsive move right here up, and a lot of times at the end of this, exhaustion will start hitting, and we will get some kind of a rejection from here. If we were to do that, I would be relying on the Fibonacci tool, which is right over here on Trading View. And I would come from there and just, and of course, I got it upside down. Hang on, it's a 50-50 shot here. So we'll come back up this way. So I would be looking at a return. If it does reject in this area, I'd be looking for something to come back here about 38% of the Fibonacci. And that actually sits right in. I'm going to move this line here. As you can see, it kind of sits right into some support right in this area. So that would be my target. And again, if this did play out, then I'll just show you here the way that I set this stuff up is I would put the positioning tool right here. I would come down to whatever the swing high is going to be here, because we have to have ejection, and that's going to happen somewhere over in this area. And so then I would take the ATR. This is really important, guys. Listen to this part twice. Take the ATR. This saves you from a lot of heartache. And here's the ATR. So I take the top where my stop loss would be. Let's just call it right here. And I look over to the right. I see it's 91.28.2. So it's 28. That's what I'm looking for. Look down over here in the bottom left-hand corner. You see the ATR is at 20. So I'm going to add 20, and that puts me at 48. We'll come right up here, 48. That's where my stop loss would have to be if we were right in this area somewhere in here. And then I would bring my profit down to what I think would be a reasonable target for the market. And that's going to be somewhere in here. So depending on the circumstances, like with me, I would be needing to get in somewhere in this area. So if the market comes up and kind of messes around here a little bit and then gives us a nice rejection, then this is where I would have to be based on where I think the market might go. Now, you might be different. You might say, well, the market will go way down here or way down here or whatever. It's all just a personal opinion at that part. Okay, at that point. All right, so the next one I want to share with you, I think, was the euro to the yen. And these are ones that I came across this morning. So I'm going to get rid of this ATR because we don't need that. And I've got plenty of videos that explain how to set that, set this positioning tool here. short position, long position, and how I set up my stop losses and my take profits. Okay, so currently, right now, this is right now, we have a possible triple top reversal. So we've got clear rejection right at this point after a solid impulsive move up from here up to there. And so now we have another smaller but still impressive impulsive move to the top side here that's coming into this same zone. So what we're saying is that we are waiting for a clear structure rejection at this point. Then we will go and follow the rest of the VMS strategy, and we'll look for the volume, and we'll also be watching momentum here. So we want momentum to either go up a little bit higher and then hook down, or at least start hooking down. Right now it's at 75, and that's not too bad. I've got another one I'm going to show you that's at 103. Okay, so this is one that we're watching, and that's a euro to the yen. The next one is the Swiss franc right here to the Japanese yen. And let's see. Yep. Okay. So here's another one, almost the same thing. We've got a quad top, but I just go with triple tops on all this stuff. There could be 5 touches up here. I'll still call it a triple top. And so we tried to get into this market back here on the third touch. And this candle right here was at a 93, an impressive 93 on a 4-hour chart. And so we were trying to get in there, but with my system on how I place my stops and losses and take profits, you can see my take profit was right down here at this level. And so I had to adjust what I was willing to enter this market at. I had to adjust it, and the market never came back up and got me there. So we missed out on that one. It did end up taking the fly down to the 2-to-1 profit. So we might get another opportunity here. We'll let the market tell us. This last candle here is a really good rejection candle. Okay, we've got a nice wick that came up high and strong, basically just coming right up to the highs of these other ones. And so now we'll see, if we falter here, I'm anticipating that this market will start curving and coming down. At the same time, momentum will also start curving and coming down. If we see both of those happen simultaneously, then we will start looking for volume. Volume means nothing until we get structure. Structure is supported by momentum. Volume tells you when to get in. That's the sniper. I've got a video just on volume sniping. And it is, man, it's super accurate. So one of the most impressive things, sorry. One of the most impressive things about this particular pair is that it's at 20-year highs. And let me just take a brief moment here, and I'm going to show you what I'm looking at. So the reason I'm bringing it way down there is because I'm going to bring it to a monthly. Nope, that's too much. Weekly. Yeah, still not enough. No, it's still down. Hang on a second. Yeah, that's right. Now I remember. So here's where we're at right now. And this is like all the way back to 2005. That's 20 years, guys. And it's super high here. Not saying that it's going to make a correction, but it's definitely due. Let's say that. Okay, now you just got to deal with me here. Now I got to get my charts all back. So just hang on. Yeah, here's a video I did a couple weeks ago about sniper entries. Let's come back over here. So Swiss franc to the Japanese yen is one that we're watching for a possible triple top. And watch it on your own, guys. You're looking for a solid rejection up in here and momentum to hook over, and then volume. And for me, what I do is I use on a 4-hour chart, volume has to be minimum of 80. On a 1-hour chart, 85. And on a 15-minute chart, 90. I've got some where there's just, they're all like 95, 92s and all that stuff. And those are the ones that generally take off pretty quick. All right, as promised, I'm also going to show you the live trade that we're currently in, and that is the pound to the Swiss franc. Get my cursor on it here, right there. Boom. You can see it's, I use Oanda, and this is going to show you and me exactly what's happening here. So the last time I looked at that, we were somewhere down here. Pretty nice little profit going on. You know, that's the thing about the Forex markets, guys. They can do whatever the heck they want. And this was a super clean setup. You see a beautiful rejection right at this point. And at this point, it was a double top. But we also had a double top and a reversal. This shooting star candle and this engulfing candle right next to it, the one that we got in on, those make up that shooting star rejection setup. So we got into the market right in here, and as you can see, you know, it's just kind of going sideways. It hasn't really decided what it wants to do yet. But our stop loss is the swing high here plus the ATR. And our take profit, as you can see, is to the top of this support level down here. And just look right over here. That gives us our 2-to-1. And so we'll just ride this one out and see what happens. This is a solid setup. The VMS does not win all the time. I do take losses. But overall, in the last 6 months or so, every month has been in the positive. So, yeah, if you like it, follow along. You know, hit the subscribe button, the bell icon, and give me a like. I appreciate it, and we'll share this with as many people as possible. All right, guys, have a great day. Talk to you soon.